Hey guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing a review for Batman issue 21. And before I start talking about this issue, just want to give you guys a couple updates. Of course, I have Comic Uno episode 189, and that's show where I review all the comics I read this week in one show. The exclusive comics are in the description below, and the episode will be annotated on Thursday. But let's start talking about Batman issue 21, my most anticipated book for this week, and I am really looking forward to talking about this issue with you, because I am a huge Watchmen fan, really looking forward to seeing how Watchmen is related to DC Rebirth, and we are going to see that with the button. So this is part one of the Flash and Batman crossover. I got the cover where we see half of themselves, but let's start talking about the interior artwork, which is just gorgeous. I mean, this is a very action-packed issue, and it lives up to the action. But also, it's very creative in the way how Watchmen is just shown on pretty much every panel. You have some form of a reminder that Watchmen is prevalent in this story, either with the coloring and the fight sequence with Reverse Flash and Batman, where you see the blood, and it kind of is reminiscent to the Watchmen pin. The artwork's just gorgeous. I could gush over it all day. It's just perfect artwork for this story. But let's see what's going on with the story. So with this issue, there's a lot to unpack here. But it opens up with Saturn Girl. We can say it's Saturn Girl. It's pretty obvious it's her. Seeing the future of this hockey game. And the hockey game, we see one of the hockey players die because of a fist fight. And this is actually a foreshadowing to what's going to happen with Reverse Flash and Batman, where we see Batman looking at the button and Reverse Flash comes running in. He's alive again, and it's a 1-minute fight as Batman is saying, all right, Flash is going to be here. He's going to help me with the button. But, of course, it's the Flash. He's a couple of seconds late, and we see by the end, when Flash does come to the cave, that Batman is badly wounded and Reverse Flash is dead again? And it's interesting because we see Reverse Flash turn into that when he touches the button and he says, God, I saw God. So, like I said, there's so much to unpack. So first I want to say what I thought about the issue, and then I'm going to go into speculation. So what I thought about the issue, it was amazing. It was like DC Rebirth Special Part 2. It was such a good issue, even though not, story-wise, not a lot happens. It's a very contained story. The fight is literally a minute long. There's a scene with Saturn Girl. Flash finds him. So you could say that not a lot happens, but because of the clues, a lot happens with the mystery, and that's what's amazing about this issue, is how much they pack into literally a minute of story, and it's so good, the issue. Really well done. Now, going into the actual mystery aspect, because what's so good about this is if you're a Watchmen fan, I think it really prevails of what made Watchmen great. Of course, it's still its own thing. It's still DC Comics and the DC Universe, but a lot of the story elements of Watchmen are laid in this issue. Like the first part of the story with Saturn Girl. First of all, it was cool just to see Saturn Girl and see what the Legion of Superheroes are going to be involved with this, because they've been teased a bit with DC Rebirth, but it's her, what she says. I want to quote exactly what she says, because it is important. She says, "No one will stop it. No one will save us," which is very similar to the Rorschach's journal entry, where he's like, oh, of course, all the whores and politicians will yell out, "Save us," and then I will whisper no. I'll look down and whisper no. Is that the answer of what's going on with Saturn Girl? This is one of the connections with Watchmen. So maybe this is also an element of why the New 52 was so dark. So definitely that's a piece of the puzzle. Also, the hockey game in general is very much a piece of the puzzle because it's a game, and there's also a line within the game. Let me see if I can find it, that I feel like could connect to DC Rebirth and the mystery of DC Rebirth. Let me see if I can find it. This is just a game. Schuster knows that. We're all just trying to have fun out here. I mean, is this fun? So I feel like, because the hockey game is 100% a foreshadowing of the Batman Reverse Flash fight, which Watchmen is known for all the foreshadowings within its story. So I thought that was a really cool way to do this Batman issue 21 story. So with that, I think it really is playing on the analogy of the game of DC Rebirth, because we've gotten this reference before in other DC Rebirth stories, like Superman Reborn. We had the whole game aspect with Mixie Pitalik. And then even with Tim Drake with Detective Comics, where he's off the board, like off a chessboard. So this game analogy has definitely been shown before, and I think that's going to play a bigger part in the Watchmen storyline also, and how that's connected to Watchmen. Now lastly, the big Watchmen connection also, besides the pin, we're not even going to go into the obvious, but another big connection is when Reverse Flash touches the button, where he says, "God, I think I saw God," and then he dies. And I think that's very much a connection to Dr. Manhattan, who is the godlike creature of Watchmen. And is this a positive answer that Dr. Manhattan is behind all this? There lies the question. So that's what I liked about this issue the most, and what made this issue so fun is those small clues as a DC fan or a Watchmen fan that are shown in this issue that you could kind of connect together, like, alright, what does this relate to Watchmen? What does this have to do with the DC Rebirth as a whole? So you're kind of playing detective as you go along with the story, and that's why this issue is so worth it, is because it honestly garners to multiple reads. It's not a book where you're like, alright, that's cool, next. This is a book that you could totally read over and over again as you wait for part 2 of The Flash, which is next week, but you could still reread and kind of get a lot of clues. So I love this issue. Again, there's so much to unravel. There's a lot of Flashpoint references, even just character work. It's cool that it's Batman and Flash as the detectives trying to figure this out. And then, of course, Flash being too late to get there, I thought was really cool. The whole minute aspect of that fight was such a cool concept. And Batman as a human trying to defeat Reverse Flash was just epic on an action level. So that's what is cool about this book, too, is that I think it's great that how it balances the action sequences, but also the story and the mystery and all these different elements combining into this one chapter. Just such a great premiere that gets me so stoked for the rest of DC Rebirth and really just the rest of this Button story arc. So overall, Batman issue 21 I could talk about forever, but 5 stars for me. A must-buy issue if you like these characters, if you are a big fan of DC Comics, and if you are following the DC Rebirth mystery. So let me know in the comments below what you thought. Tell me what you thought about all the clues laid out in this issue. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. This is Comic Uno. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to like my Facebook page. Also, description below, there are links for my comic book, Like Father, Like Daughter. And don't forget to like the Facebook page of Like Father, Like Daughter. I'll see you guys later. Bye.